friends, welcome back to another exciting and fun episode of On Location in Vancouver. I'm your host, Zara Durrani. Today we're here at Oxygen Yoga and Fitness. Joining me today is the passionate, inspiring Jen Hamilton, the CEO and franchisor behind this incredible Canadian brand, one of Canada's fastest growing fitness brands. She's been recognized nationally for her entrepreneurial achievements, but beyond the awards, she's dedicated to creating safe spaces for people to strengthen their bodies, minds, and hearts. I can't wait to explore how Jen turned her vision into a movement that now touches thousands of lives every day. Let's go in and speak to Jen.
We're going to dig deep into her story because it's truly inspiring. I'm talking about none other than the fabulous, fit, and inspiring Jen Hamilton. Jen! Hi! Congratulations. What a beautiful space here in Yaletown.
Thank you. Thank you. Honestly, the community here is amazing. We have made so many relationships with people here, members, business owners. It's a beautiful thing. It feels really good.
That's amazing. And if you all don't know, Jen just finished teaching a hot class. And my goodness, I was in there filming a little bit behind the scenes. You are fit, my friend. You are so fit. And I've done a few of Jen's classes, but to watch and film you, I was like, my goodness, I want to get to that level of fitness.
Oh, well, you're so sweet. Thank you. Honestly, it's truly my passion. It is what I love to do.
Amazing. Well, I want to get back to the beginning because we were having a bit of this conversation earlier because I really wanted to hear more of your story. The fact that I get to sit down here with you, I find the whole philosophy of Oxygen Yoga very ahead of its curve. And I remember I used to live a block away from Oxygen Yoga, Yaletown. I remember doing their 1 month special and how my body changed. It's not even just about the fitness, it's the fact that you start with an intention. You end with saying, I love my life. Everywhere in the studio, there's these mantras and positive messages. Walk us through that philosophy because you're mixing yoga, we're doing in a hot room, but also fitness and weights, and it's very dynamic. And then you also have that club atmosphere. By the time you're done, you're sweating, you've got this great workout. How did you come up with this?
You know what? I think I'm a person who likes diversity, number one. I think we've all gone to fitness classes where you do the same thing over and over and over again, so you get bored. So therefore, that was one of the elements that I needed in my business model, is to have diversity, to have, slower classes, faster classes, and things that are on trend. I mean, the beautiful thing about our studios is that we can introduce new concepts when they come in and drop them when they're not so hot. Pardon the pun.
I love that. Now, let's talk a bit about your background, because before you even did Oxygen Yoga, you had the cardio core boot camp.
Correct.
I remember seeing their posters and ads everywhere back in the day.
Well, so cardio core started, and it was very, very organic. I had just had the twins, and I was actually working for the school district in School District 42, and I was having lunch with one of my colleagues who was a fitness instructor. And I had this idea of doing workouts outside. And I approached her at lunch and I said, about this idea, I know you're certified as an instructor, but I've got a bunch of ideas. And I said, we've just sold our house, so I'll front the money that we require to get started. And as long as I get paid back before we collect anything, then let's do it. So then afterwards, we decided to go to Starbucks and have a coffee and discuss it. And I was all about the cardio. And this was way back in 2003. And she's like, no, the core. And I was like, cardio core. And that's truly how we came up with the name. And that blew up. We had over 59 locations when we sold. We sold in 2009. And what I did learn about the fitness industry, as I indicated before, when people get bored. So boot camp, okay, we actually put a limitation on ourselves by putting just boot camp.
Yeah.
Because it becomes the same thing
It's almost like you have an idea of what you're gonna get. And sometimes if someone is a beginner or you haven't stepped into a studio or in a class or you've had health issues, you have an idea of, okay, this is what it's going to be like. Then you stand in your own way and you don't like sign up for a class.
Yeah, I think what I was saying though is like, think about like Taibo, kickboxing, you know, like all of these things have a shelf life. And it was starting to plateau, right? And Karen and I just decided that it was the perfect time to sell. So I golfed a lot and I went back to the school district. And then I ran into a couple that I trained with cardio course, Sandy and Chuck, at the grocery store. And they said, oh, Jen, we really miss your training, this, that, next thing. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got a detached garage. I set up my garage and, you know, one person told another person. Then all of a sudden I had 12 people. Then I had 24 people. I get this knock on the door and it's bylaw officer. And they're like, I heard you're running a fitness business. I said, yeah, let me show you. And they're like, Jen, I think it's so great that you're so excited about this, but you can't do this. But what might have been perceived as an obstacle became an opportunity. So then I went back and looked at my resources. And I was a gymnast growing up. My parents knew a couple who had a gym club in Pitt Meadows. So I called her and said, I bet you're not using your club at 5:30 in the morning. Let me rent it off you. So we did. So my 26 people grew to 146 people. And then I came across Oxygen Yoga and I had an opportunity to create a business.
I love your passion for health and wellness and fitness. It's not just the physical aspect. It's the mental aspect.
Oh, for sure.
It's what's going on inside of you. So tell me about that. Obviously, you have this background as a gymnast, but to sustain being a mom and when you were teaching, have you always consistently worked out?
Well, my father and daughter date day was Wednesdays. We would go to the gym and we would train together. I always like being active. You know, I like being outdoors. I like being involved in sports.
So something that we were speaking about earlier was the fact that Oxygen Yoga started out in Maple Ridge, one location.
Yes.
Now you have close to 200 locations, not just in Canada, but in the US as well. And you are helping inspire and change lives for not only the clients who are attending the classes, but also a lot of the women who are franchise owners.
Men and women, actually, yeah.
Tell us about this.
So this is really funny because a lot of people said, oh, are you going to franchise again? I said, definitely not. Nope. And it came, I was instructing a class and Lori, everybody's lying in Shavasana. As you indicated, we start and we finish in that pose just to be present in the moment and create presence. So she's lying there and I was walking through the class and she said, I want one. I said, you want one what? She's like, I'd like a location. And I was like, okay. And it wasn't about making money. It was about sharing. And ironically enough, Lori was a single mom as well. She wasn't happy in her corporate career and she loved Oxygen. And I'm like, she'll do a great job at it. And she runs it with her kids as well and still is running. And they have 2 locations in Langley now.
Did you imagine when you started the first location that you're going to be able to empower so many leaders, whether they're teachers or franchise owners or even folks who are attending the classes?
To be honest with you, sometimes I'm like, pinch me because I'm humbled. And I mean, I started crying at the end of this class today. Just when I said I love my life, there's just sometimes it just really, I get triggered just thinking of, it was just an idea and I went for it. And I've got an amazing group of people that I work with that I'm not only friends with, I'm colleagues with, and we just have an amazing relationship, commitment to what we love to do, accountability. It's just, it's really, it's a wonderful thing, you know? I feel so grateful. I really do.
I think what's amazing is the fact that you're still teaching. Like, I had no idea who you were. To be a mom of 3, a single mom of 3, and then running a business? I can only imagine the challenges you must have come across.
Well, I don't even think I shared this part with you. So one of my big inspirations on me being so physically active is I was in a really bad car accident when I was 19, pronounced dead on arrival. And I chose to exercise to rehab myself instead of going for physio and getting hooked up to suction cups. I would walk every day for probably 5 kilometers. Then I would I'd started running and this, that, the next thing. And I rehabbed myself after my accident. And just one thing led to the other. I was in school going for marketing and business. And then I changed my career path because I wanted to give back because people supported me. So I think whatever happened to me earlier on, everything's kind of gone full circle. And yeah, just one thing led to another. And I'm a person who really, I visualize. And if I can see it, I know I can do it. I just need to find the path or network with the right people in order to lead me in the right direction. And I think I'm not afraid of asking for help. I think in the past I might have been, but I'm okay asking for help, and I want to help other people. And that's why I'm always so gracious with my time. And when people ask, and I get DMs all the time, hey, can you help me with this? What should I do? So then I ask various questions and help guide people.
You also won an award for that, right? The Canadian Franchise Association Award, you were recognized, and RBC.
Yes. RBC, I've been a nominee twice now with the Women Entrepreneur Award, and I came 3rd runner-up.
I would love to hear what advice you would give to female leaders, to young women out there wanting to start their own business.
I would ask yourself, how passionate are you? And really, if you're not passionate about something, I truly, in my own opinion, don't feel that it will work because the passion is something that comes from within. It's authentic. And if you can lead with your passion and structure a business around that and develop a team and pick people who are smarter than you. It's not to say that you don't need to know everything about your business, because when I started, my gosh, I was negotiating leases, I was putting together floors and I was doing everything. But it allowed me to understand all the fundamentals of the business. And then I got to actually dedicate those areas of work to other people who were experts in those positions. And I got to do what I love doing, and that's teaching. I do love teaching, and working with people, creating opportunities for people, selling these franchises, and just watching people flourish and grow. It's very rewarding.
Do you have any stories? I'm sure you must receive a lot of emails or DMs or voice messages and calls from folks, whether they're a franchise owner or someone who changed their lives by just attending the classes, attending the studios.
Oh my goodness, I have received so many messages from franchise owners, from members. I've had many fabulous stories on how couples have met and they're now married and having babies and stuff like that. And I mean, those are fabulous. Just, yeah, franchisees thanking me, and just, I'm not one to boast or anything, but honestly, I've received many, many messages from people that it warms my heart. And as I said, I pinch myself thinking this was just an idea. But myself and my team and all of the franchisees who wanted to be a part of something that was created are helping it grow and flourish. We're all working at it together.
Tell me, what does working out give to you? And imagine someone out there who is watching who's perhaps been feeling in a funk or hasn't been active.
I think releasing your energy through movement. The thing with our classes is we have music and everything that goes with the classes. Therefore, depending on what mood you're in, we have an opportunity for you to channel your energy in a positive way. And that's what I've always said. Sometimes if I want to go and just feeling aggressive, I'll do a box fusion class. But sometimes I'm just feeling, I've had a busy day. I just need to calm my mind. I'll do a deep stretch, right? So I allow my moods to obviously help determine what classes that I'm going to take as well.
I just turned 43. I'm really passionate about health and wellness. So you mentioned some folks, how it's impacted their health. Imagine someone walks in, they haven't been to a studio in ages, they haven't been to a class, haven't worked out in forever. How would you want them to start? With what class?
Oh, probably a deep stretch, just to acclimatize themselves to the infrared. Usually takes about 3 times in order for the body just to kind of go, okay, I understand this.
Yeah.
And then you'd move into maybe a freedom flow class or...
What is it? It's a yoga mixed class?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit faster. And then maybe a fitness class, an abs and butt class, which is 30 or 45 minutes. So it's not a full class. So it just gives you an element of,
A taster.
a taste of that Fast and Furious class that you were just referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What inspired you to add that far infrared component to these classes?
To be honest with you, the yoga studio that I purchased had that in. And that's what I fell in love with. Wow, I could do a lot of things with this, with the fitness and the yoga, combining both. And well, the infrared does amazing things to you. It is great for inflammation, cell rejuvenation, detoxification. You're constantly flushing your body. That's a very healthy thing. You're getting rid of all the toxins. And a lot of people, when I say, oh, you're gonna sleep better, they're like, I'm sleeping better and my skin, and
The skin feels fantastic.
it does. It feels like butter.
It just, silk. I'm just like, wow, like everything is
I
like...
say butter, you say silk.
Yeah, me croissant bread. I want to talk about something else, which again, before I got to meet Jen, I had my yoga teacher certification many, many years ago, and I was excited about Oxygen Yoga. And shortly afterwards, I booked a role that had me traveling to Los Angeles. But you guys also offer teacher trainings.
Yes, we do.
Tell us about teacher training, because there could be folks out there who are super passionate about fitness and they want to be like, hey, I want to take my love for and passion for fitness and wellness and make a living.
When we started franchising, then I was like, well, I've got to fill the pipeline. It's a franchise. We need consistency. So Samara and I developed our teacher training program, and we spent many, many nights going through a lot of the sequences and just the formatting and everything.
And you're bringing these great vibes, good vibes to everyone. You're bringing your passion for health and wellness to the world. And I think what's fantastic is when I come to the classes, I see people of all ages, shapes and sizes. So it's not like the super fit, super athletic. Everyone is on their journey.
And our goal is to build community, and that's what we're doing here. And we've got the physical fitness aspect that brings people here. But these relationships that we see people creating, how we have everybody line up and they wait and we let them in 7 minutes before class starts, that's done with intention. So people get to know one another. They get to chit chat, they get to make friends. Not a lot of people come here just to lose weight. People have just moved. People just had a baby, and this is their 1 hour that they have to themselves. There's so many different reasons that people come through our doors, and we embrace all of it.
What I like when I enter and even open these lockers, there's cute little mantras everywhere. Cute little messages, smile, even on the mirror.
Yeah.
Today is about you. Where did that come from?
That just comes from who I am as a person. I wish people would smile more at people. I always tell people to smile in class, and all of those messages, I remember when I was doing it, my kids thought I was totally corny. And there's a different message in every single locker. And people it makes them smile when they see that. And I've said, if you need that message, just take it.
Yeah.
And let me know so I can put another message up for somebody else, right? But sometimes that's all we need is somebody to say, you're beautiful, or I'm really happy I met you, or just engagement.
Completely.
Yeah.
And even as you enter, and I was filming on the side wall here, it says, I love my life, as well as in the studio, it says, I love my life. And you're ending your class with that in Shavasana. I think that's such a beautiful way of incorporating the I'm really into spirituality, and that's what got me into yoga teacher training. And then how you're combining these two different worlds. I think you've done that really beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you. And honestly, when we say, I love my life, when people say it, at first they thought it was totally corny. And now people are, I love my life, and loud and proud. And it's just, there's something to be said about that. When people can actually love themselves, guess what? You've got space to love everybody else around you.
And you're just walking through this world as a different person, happier person.
Yes, yes.
How many Oxygen Yoga studios are in Vancouver, Lower Mainland area?
In Vancouver and the Lower Mainland, we've got 42. Yeah, and then we've got the island. In total now, we have, I believe it's 185 sold. Yes, and we're actually in New Zealand as well.
What?
And we're opening in Mexico.
No way.
And the UK. And we are in talks with Morocco as well.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So definitely beyond the US and Canada. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
That is amazing.
The momentum right now is incredible. And it reminds me back when I started franchising and I had to pump the brakes twice because we were growing too quickly and I didn't have the proper infrastructure in place to support the franchisees properly. So I had to say, no, let me get back to you. So I had to come back to my team, bring more people into the team, and develop more of a cohesive plan in order to support the growth and development.
Tell us about some of the challenges that you had to overcome when you first started.
I think as we grew, and some of the challenges, me being a single female on my own, there were times that I think people would try to maybe push me into a corner, and I stood my word. I always stood behind what I said, and I had to advocate for myself. And as time went on, as we grew bigger and bigger, I did bring on a partner who's a male, Patch. He owns Good Life Fitness. And I did it for one of two reasons. I didn't do it for financial reasons. I did it to have support. So I had somebody who was in my corner. I also did it with the purpose of having a bigger network. He had a very large network of people that he could, basically introduce me to based on what, I needed or any information that I needed to get. So.
That's wonderful. And Good Life Fitness has been around for a while.
Yes, a long, long time.
What do you think have been, if you were to sum it into 3 characteristics about yourself that have allowed you to grow your business to what it is now? And of course, you mentioned you're going to Morocco, you're going to Mexico, you're opening in New Zealand. It's massive. It is a big, big deal. What do you think have been 3 traits or habits or characteristics that have allowed you to dream big and to continue to succeed?
That's a really good question. My love for this business, and not only what it does for me personally, I teach the classes, I see it. I love the way I feel. I'm proud to say I'm 51. So that's one. Number 2, accountability. You know what? I'm not sitting at the top collecting a paycheck. I'm actually working longer and harder hours than I ever have now than maybe, let's say 5 years ago. But I love it. I love that. So accountability. And I think also just working with people, being compassionate, and understanding and listening. I think this business has taught me how to be a better listener. I think as a CEO, when I first started, I think I thought I had to have all the answers. And you know what? COVID gave me a different aspect on how to have takeaways from conversations, not always having to have the answer. You know what? That's a great question. Let me get back to you in 48 hours or whatever it may be. So I can go and do my research rather than just having a knee-jerk answer because you feel that you should have an answer for everything. You don't always have an answer for everything. And I think
it's okay to not have the answers.
Exactly. And I think it's actually, you take pride in yourself by, I'm going to go and refer to somebody else. And then you get to ask another person. That's all about this whole growing and working collectively with other people and building stronger relationships.
I noticed that about you because even when we met last time, we went next door to Minami and everyone knows you there. And then you're mentioning how you went for a reading at this other place, which is in the neighborhood. And I clocked that. I was like, that's really cool. She wants to support local businesses.
I'm excited to be here and I'm really proud that I'm doing it with my kids and also that we get to use this business to test out corporate ideas, new opportunities. So I get to test it, and if it's a yay, then I get to deliver it to the franchisees. If it's a nay, well, I took one in the chin.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Jen, for taking the time. I know this is right after the Fast and Furious class,
I'm
but
sorry,
you're
the
full
way I
of
look.
energy. Now you look amazing, like fabulous. I think you're much more stronger than I am, and very aspirational. Watching you work out in there, I'm like, my goodness, everything that you're doing, and also flexibility and the energy. It's like it's vitality, and I think that's why folks who work out, it's like, what do they say? The body for life, right? Like it's not just for now. It's like it's the long game. You're playing the long game. Before I let you go, anyone who has not been to Oxygen Yoga yet, what would you say to them?
Well, it's only $19 for your 1-week trial, so it's not going to break the bank, and I promise you, you will be you'll be hooked.
Amazing. Well, we'll share your information. Oxygen Yoga is here in Yaletown on Mainland, like right next to Minami, and I highly recommend you guys check it out. Jen, thank you so much for taking the time. It's such a pleasure.
Yes.
I feel very excited to sit down and talk to you because I've been attending various Oxygen Yoga studios and then to speak to the mastermind behind it all. It's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Aw, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in and watching On Location Vancouver. If you'd like to share your story with us and be a guest on the show, please scan the QR code and someone from our team will get in touch with you. We'll see you soon.